Welcome to ProLegalMinds. Today, we're exploring one of the hottest issues in India's digital economy, social media influencers and the law. With influencer marketing now worth nearly 3,000 crore in India, regulators have tightened the screws. The Securities and Exchange Board of India, the Advertising Standards Council of India, and the Central Consumer Protection Authority all now demand transparency and disclosure. What happens if you post a paid partnership without saying it's an ad? Can SEBI fine you for financial advice on YouTube? And how can influencers, agencies, and brands stay safe? Social media influencers are now firmly under the legal radar. Regulators like SEBI, ASCI, and the Central Consumer Protection Authority have rolled out binding rules with real penalties for misleading promotions and hidden endorsements. The era of casually slipping a tiny ad at the bottom is over. Today, transparency isn't just best practice, it's the law. The Consumer Protection Act 2019 forms the backbone of influencer regulation. Under Section 2 of 28, any advertisement that gives false guarantees or misleads about a product or service is deemed a misleading advertisement. And Section 21 gives the CCPA real teeth. Fines up to 10 lakh rupees for the first offense, 50 lakh for repeat violations, and even a ban on endorsements, 1 year for the first offense, 3 years for repeat. For influencers, this means personal liability, endorse without disclosure, and you could face serious legal action. The SEBI Act 1992 makes it clear. Protecting investors and regulating markets is SEBI's foremost duty under Section 11 of And the SEBI Investment Advisors Regulations of 2013 take it a step further. No one can act as an investment advisor without SEBI registration. For financial influencers, this is critical. Recommending stocks, mutual funds, crypto, or IPOs without registration is illegal. Even a casual YouTube video titled Top 5 Stocks for 2025 could bring you under SEBI's scanner and expose you to heavy penalties. The ASCI Code for Digital Media has set strict rules for influencer advertising. Disclosures must be clear, upfront, and prominent. No more hiding ad at the bottom of 30 hashtags. Only labels like advertisement, ad, sponsored, paid partnership, or collaboration are valid. For videos, disclosures must appear at the start and stay long enough to be noticed. For audio, they must be spoken clearly right at the beginning. And while ASCI is self-regulatory, its findings can be enforced by the CCPA, meaning non-compliance isn't just unethical, it's risky. Enforcement is no longer just a threat, it's reality. In 2023, SEBI penalized 6 YouTubers and their associates a staggering 54 crore rupees for promoting penny stocks without disclosure, manipulating prices, and misleading investors. In 2022, Bollywood celebrities faced ASCI notices for endorsing betting and gaming apps without mandatory disclaimers on risk and age restrictions. And lifestyle influencers have not been spared. The CCPA fined multiple creators for posting gifted products without disclosure. Remember, even barter deals count as paid endorsements. The message is clear. Whether you're a YouTuber, celebrity, or lifestyle blogger, failure to comply can cost you dearly. What exactly counts as influencer advertising? According to ASCI, it's any content on digital media created by an influencer that promotes or recommends a product or service, where there's a material connection between the influencer and the brand. That connection doesn't have to be direct payment alone. It includes monetary compensation, free products or trips, barter or discounted deals, equity stakes, or even affiliate links. If there's a benefit, there must be a disclosure, because transparency is now the law. Let's look at the penalties influencers face for non-compliance. Under the Consumer Protection Act 2019, a misleading ad without proper disclosure can attract a fine of 10 lakh rupees for the first offense, 50 lakh for repeat offenses, and even a ban from endorsements. Under the SEBI Act 1992, giving investment advice without registration can lead to monetary penalties, disgorgement of profits, and debarment from the securities market. The ASCI guidelines enforce transparency. Failure to disclose or improper disclosure can result in public notices and referrals to the CCPA for penalties. Finally, the CCPA actively monitors FMCG, fashion, and lifestyle endorsements, where misleading ads can invite heavy fines and prohibition orders. In short, lack of compliance can cost influencers not just money, but also credibility and future opportunities. What happens if an influencer is accused of violating disclosure or advertising rules? First, the regulator issues a show cause notice. Influencers can respond with evidence, such as screenshots proving proper disclosures or use of platform tools. Second, they can correct the violation by adding disclosures retroactively or even removing the problematic content. Third, there's always the right to appeal. For SEBI cases, the appeal lies before the Securities Appellate Tribunal. For CCPA matters, influencers can approach the NCDRC or the designated appellate authority. Finally, by showing mitigation, proving the lapse was unintentional and quickly corrected, influencers can often reduce penalties and safeguard their reputation. Before hitting publish, influencers and agencies must follow this compliance checklist. Clearly disclose all partnerships, whether cash, gifts, barter, or affiliate links. Use prominent disclosure labels like ad or paid partnership right at the beginning of the content. For videos, disclosures must appear on screen at the start. For audio, they must be spoken clearly up front. Agencies should insert strong compliance clauses in influencer contracts. Finfluencers must never provide investment advice without SEBI registration. And finally, always maintain a record of posts and contracts for at least 2 years. Transparency isn't optional anymore, it's the law. In influencer marketing, accountability is shared. Both agencies and brands carry significant legal and ethical responsibility. Agencies must ensure content integrity and proper disclosures, while brands face not only heavy fines but also reputational damage and loss of consumer trust if campaigns go wrong. The solution lies in robust influencer contracts. These should include indemnity clauses for compliance with SEBI, ASCI, or even FTC rules. They must clearly define the scope of partnerships, disclosure requirements, content reviews, and the consequences of non-compliance. Best practices: rigorous influencer vetting, detailed creative briefs, continuous content monitoring, and regular legal training on emerging issues like intellectual property and data privacy. Together, these safeguards protect both brands and agencies from unnecessary risks. Globally, influencer regulation is tightening. In the United States, the Federal Trade Commission strictly enforces disclosure. Influencers have been fined for hiding ads. In the UK, the Advertising Standards Authority mandates that all sponsored posts must be clearly marked as ad. Across the European Union, influencers are treated as advertisers themselves, fully subject to consumer protection laws. And India is now moving in the same direction, making transparency and disclosure mandatory in influencer marketing. The future of influencer regulation is set for major transformation. By 2025 and beyond, we may see a mandatory public registry for financial influencers, where credentials and conflicts must be openly disclosed. AI-powered monitoring systems will detect hidden ads and undisclosed partnerships with far greater accuracy. The rise of influencer-specific insurance will provide protection against liabilities and reputational risks. And regulators will enforce stricter rules in high-risk sectors like health and finance, with heavier penalties and proactive surveillance. The message is clear. Influencer marketing is moving toward greater transparency, accountability, and professionalism. The influencer economy in India is no longer a free space. ASCI now mandates clear disclosures. SEBI strictly prohibits unregistered financial advice, and the CCPA is empowered to penalize misleading ads. For influencers, failing to disclose can mean lakhs in fines and even endorsement bans. For agencies and brands, compliance isn't optional, it's the law. Handled the right way, transparency doesn't just avoid penalties, it builds credibility, trust, and long-term influence. Navigate the legal landscape with ProLegalMinds. We specialize in providing comprehensive legal advisory tailored for the fast-evolving world of influencer marketing. For influencers, expert counsel on compliance and strong contract negotiation. For agencies, strategic legal frameworks that safeguard campaigns. For brands, ensuring regulatory adherence and protection in every initiative. Partner with ProLegalMinds to stay compliant, confident, and future-ready. Visit ProLegalMinds.com or connect with us today on WhatsApp or call at 9494-051717.